the Devil's Tramping Ground in North Carolina, USA. Located in a remote forest near Siler City, North Carolina, the Devil's Tramping Ground is one of the most mysterious and terrifying places in the United States. It is a perfectly round, 40-foot barren circle where nothing ever grows, no matter how much time passes. The soil here appears lifeless, animals avoid the area, and strange occurrences have been reported for centuries. According to legend, the devil himself walks this circle at night, plotting his evil deeds, and anything placed in the circle by day is mysteriously moved or destroyed by morning. Over the years, ghost hunters, skeptics, and curious visitors have all experienced terrifying encounters at this infamous site. Here are 5 of the scariest and most well-documented incidents associated with the Devil's Tramping Ground. In 1882, Caleb Reynolds, a 30-year-old farmer from Chatham County, ventured into the woods near the Devil's Tramping Ground after telling his family he was going to investigate the strange stories about the site. According to local accounts, Caleb was never seen again. His horse was later found tied to a tree nearby, and his lantern was discovered burning in the center of the circle, but Caleb was gone. Extensive searches were conducted, but no trace of him was ever found. Since his disappearance, visitors to the Devil's Tramping Ground have reported seeing a shadowy figure resembling Caleb standing at the edge of the circle before suddenly vanishing. In 1936, a local historian recorded an interview with an elderly woman who claimed to be Caleb's great-niece. She said her family believed Caleb had been taken by the devil after mocking the legend. In 2015, a paranormal investigator captured an EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, recording at the site that seemed to say, "Help me," in a whispered voice. Many believe Caleb's spirit is trapped at the site, forever lost in its dark energy. In 1954, a Boy Scout troop from Pittsboro, North Carolina decided to test the legend by camping directly inside the circle. Despite warnings from locals, the troop leader set up a large canvas tent in the middle of the barren ground. At around 2:30 in the morning, terrifying screams echoed through the forest. The boys ran from their tent, waking nearby campers who rushed to help. When they arrived, they found the tent engulfed in flames, burning without any apparent cause. The tent had been nowhere near their campfire, ruling out accidental ignition. The flames were strange and blue, described by the boys as otherworldly. The scouts all reported seeing a shadowy, horned figure moving through the trees just before the fire started. After that night, none of the scouts ever returned to the site, and some suffered recurring nightmares for years. On August 7, 1986, the lifeless body of William Carter, a 22-year-old college student, was discovered lying in the center of the Devil's Tramping Ground. He had no visible wounds, and his cause of death was never fully determined. Carter, who had recently become interested in paranormal phenomena, had told his friends he planned to spend the night alone in the circle as a personal challenge. He even brought a tape recorder to document any strange events. His recorder was found beside him, but the tape was completely erased. An autopsy revealed no drugs, alcohol, or injuries. It was as if he had simply stopped breathing. Witnesses claimed that his face was frozen in a look of horror, as if he had seen something terrifying before he died. Some believe Carter saw the devil himself, while others think the site drained his life force. One of the most well-documented mysteries of the Devil's Tramping Ground is that anything left inside the circle overnight disappears or is thrown out by morning. In 1922, a farmer placed a heavy wooden log in the circle. By dawn, it had vanished completely. In 1973, a scientist placed a metal stake in the center and tied a dog nearby to observe. By morning, the stake was bent, and the dog was shaking violently but unharmed. In 2011, a paranormal research group set up motion-activated cameras, but all footage from midnight to 3 a.m. was mysteriously erased. Locals believe this is proof that supernatural forces are at work, possibly the devil himself keeping his domain clear. In 2018, Jason Caldwell, a paranormal investigator, spent a night at the Devil's Tramping Ground with his team. At around 1:45 a.m., he noticed a tall, dark figure standing at the edge of the trees. He described it as over 7 feet tall, completely black, with no visible facial features, watching them in absolute silence. As he and his team tried to leave, the figure seemed to move closer, without any sound. The moment they stepped outside the circle, Jason felt a burning sensation on his arm, later discovering 3 deep scratches that hadn't been there before. Since this encounter, he claims to have suffered repeated sleep paralysis episodes, always seeing the same dark figure standing in his room. The Devil's Tramping Ground remains one of the most unsettling and mysterious places in America. With its barren, lifeless soil, unexplained disappearances, strange deaths, and terrifying encounters, it continues to terrify visitors to this day. Would you dare to step inside the circle where the devil walks? Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We would greatly appreciate it.